Meg's a dog in good voice. A year ago, it was a very different story when the much-loved mongrel of Andy and Alison Cunningham was found barely alive 5 weeks after running away from a car crash. The Dunedin couple were resigned to never seeing her again.
We'd completely given up. We had decided that lunchtime that we were going to give up, and I just hadn't got round to putting the post on Facebook. And then the phone went. And because of the person who was on the other end, we took the claim of the sighting very seriously, and they took us down to where they said that they had seen Meg, and we walked into this particular paddock, and as soon as we began to walk up the slope towards where they said she was, this little black head came out of the grass, and I called her name, and she stood up and wagged her tail, and I burst into tears.
Andy Cunningham was instrumental in starting up the Dunedin Wildlife Hospital, and he's forever in the hospital's debt after the team there pulled out all the stops.
And it was actually quite hard to suppress the emotions enough to get her into the hospital, the wildlife hospital, because I'd phoned Lisa from the valley saying that she had a very special patient coming in, and she realised immediately who it was. And we took her in. She'd lost half her body weight, she had injuries, we weren't sure whether she was just going to have to be put to sleep. But as soon as they did the blood tests, they said, she's fine. We just need to try to sort her out and check for the infections.
Some years earlier, Cunningham was seriously injured to the point where it was uncertain whether he'd walk again. He credits Meg with helping his rehabilitation.
Meg couldn't understand why Daddy couldn't go running in the hills anymore. So as soon as I was on crutches a few weeks later, it was like, come on, Dad, we're going for a walk. And she insisted on having her 2 or 3 walks a day. And so, rain or shine, on crutches, I was being forced to do my physiotherapy. And so, without realising it, she was probably the best physiotherapist I had during the whole of my recovery. And I credit quite a lot of the speed with which I began to walk again to Meg.
These days, Meg still bears the scars of her 5-week ordeal, and her front legs will never be the same. But Cunningham is pleased Meg's wagging tail and story can be an inspiration to others.
Actually, it's a real gift because not only do I look on every day as an absolute thing to cherish because of having her with me, but when people come up and say, is that Meg, the dog that was missing, it gives people such a good feel. It makes them have a sense of community, have a sense of something that unifies people in a happy way. It's one of the things that Meg has managed to achieve in her short life. She has given a lot of people a lot of happiness.
One of Andy and Meg's favourite pastimes is meeting friends old and new at places like the Forester Park Dog Exercise Area. In Dunedin, the South Today.